What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, about 2 weeks ago, we sat here and reviewed all of my graphics cards, and the whole point of that was it was time to really do some, we'll call it spring cleaning or an audit or a review of just all of our hardware and really decide what are we going to continue mining with, what are we going to sell, and what do we want to buy going into this next bull market. And well, today's that day. We have decided what to do with all of my GPU mining hardware. So sit tight and let's go ahead and dive in. Today's video is sponsored by the team over at CoinMiningCentral.com. With crypto mining hardware prices falling, right now is the best time to snag that ASIC miner you always wanted. I've been working with the team at Coin Mining Central for over a year now and will continue to put my trust in their brand for ASIC purchases. Coin Mining Central always has stock in my favorite Bitcoin, Script, Kadena, and K-Heavy Hash ASIC miners for super reasonable and competitive prices. Finally, if you do have one of these rare situations where hardware is problematic, all ASICs come with the manufacturer warranty to ease your concerns. Looking for a well-established, trusted, and safe way to purchase an ASIC? Look no further than Coin Mining Central. Go check out Coin Mining Central today via the link in the video description down below, as well as save $120 at checkout with the discount code �HOBBYISTMiner. All right, guys, well, here we have it. I've laid out all of my GPU mining server cases as well as the associated GPUs that I want to put in them. Huge shout out to 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬. He was my sounding board and a real huge help at kind of helping to decide what do I do with what, and kind of anything where that I was like on the fence on, he was able to push me over to the other side. So huge shout out to Seb. So let's start over here. We'll start in the corner. This is a Miner Dude X8 case, and what are we looking to put in here? Well, these right here are the Sapphire Pulse X080s, brand new cards, have not mined with them yet. One of them was bad. We bought them from Hawk Crypto Mining. He had a lot of graphics cards. The last one I had already known was bad. He sent me these and the broken one, and I actually sent it to one of my guys in Discord, been with me for several years now, who does a lot of these repairs, so he's going to try his hand at it, and we're going to put those in my Miner Dude. Over here, this is the version 2 of the Polo Miner. Some of you guys might not be as familiar with it. I'll give you a quick tour since I have all these open. Plain Jane kind of riserless motherboard here. A little bit different. Take a look. Power supply is 2400 watts. It feeds directly into the actual riserless motherboard. And then you have your 6-pin or 8 pins that come out of there and go into the graphics card. It's a little bit different design. You have your high RPM fans in the front, and there's a little controller inside there for the fans. So what are we going to put there? Well, take a look. These are 6600 XTs, and my dog's coming over to say hi. These guys here, there's only 3 of them. And the reason there's only 3 is because, well, that's all I have. So one of my plans is I need to buy 6 more 6600 XTs. Love to get your opinion down below. What make do you guys recommend for the 6600 XTs? Something that is, better quality for mining, but then also is not going to cost me an arm and a leg. So I'm going to put those in this rig right here. All right, moving on here. We have our 2 𝐕-2 cases. These are the cases, if you guys are looking to get into the GPU mining server case realm, that I recommend you start out with. They're super inexpensive, $350 shipped from Amazon directly. This one's brand new, haven't used it yet. I've used this one for a little bit. I'll give you guys a quick tour of it as well. Riserless motherboard, same style, comes off of the power supply here and goes into the board to power the riserless motherboard. The only difference is that this one then also powers directly the GPUs without piggybacking from that riserless motherboard. Now, the reason I really like this one, check this out. You have high RPM fans in the back for your exhaust. You have high RPM fans in the front and just a simple knob. Now, you don't get all the bells and whistles you get with like a Miner Dude or like an Octo Miner down there with like integration with HiveOS and all the fun features and stuff like that. You don't get the watt meter within the HiveOS software, but as a good step, if you're going to go from open frames or you're looking to build your first rig, These are phenomenal. They do a great job with cooling, and if you're around your rigs a lot, having the ability to adjust that knob works out well. So we have 2 of these, and we have a total of 12 6600s. We have a handful of these hellhounds. These are pretty cool. They light up blue. We then have 2 of the Gigabyte Eagles. And finally, these are definitely on the lower quality side, but they run. I'm just saying from like a looks perspective and everything, power color, nothing too crazy, super simple, real small, simple fans on there, but it does the trick. Over here, we have our ASRoCs, MSIs, ASUS, XFX, and these are some of my favorite 6600s here, just the Sapphire Pulse. All the 6600s are 6-pin, and I think they'll do well in these matching cases. Over to Polo Miner. Now this is the original version of the Polo Miner, so this is version 1. This one over here is version 2. It has a little like LCD screen on it. I don't even know if Polo Miner's still in business, to be honest with you. And this one I'll show you real quick. Very similar design as the other Polo Miner. Something I didn't mention before, it does have an mSATA right here in the middle. And then you can see your CPU and everything is under there. Something you guys might notice, take a look. You see a little bit of the orange look on here? This is kind of the first, what would you call that? Evidence of mining like outside in the shed, using that outside air. Thankfully these can be replaced, but you can even see it on the screws here. You don't see it really with the octo miners or anything like that. Nothing internally that I'm seeing that with. But first evidence of that here. So what we're doing with these are some of my favorite MSI cards. These are the 1660 Ti's. Man, these were really hard to come by. They have all the RGB lights that come on them and stuff like that. Instead of selling these, I decided I was going to give these to my son, who's kind of slowly stepping in. In the last video I showed you guys, he had a small 6-card rig. Older ones, I mean, I guess same time period, 570s, 580s, 470s, 1060. So we're going to sell a bunch of those. We'll talk about all the GPUs we're selling at the end. But we're going to build this together. I'll have that in a future video, putting it in the Polo Miner case. So moving on from here, in our Octo Miner, this is an X8 Ultra Plus. These are 3060s. And you only see 3 because that's as many as I have. I plan to buy 5 more. This is the 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬 3060 XC. These are the ones that you used to get from like Newegg and the Newegg shuffles. We have the ROG Strix. You can always tell it's a 3060 because it only has a single 6-pin. It's a little bit smaller than the TI. I'll show you that in a minute. And then just a simple Gigabyte. So my plan is to buy 5 more of the XCs with the 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬s. They're beasts, they run great, and they're nice and small. So we're going to put those in the Octo Miner case here. If you guys aren't familiar with the Octo Miner case, a little different design. The motherboard is actually right here in the middle. Check it out. It's almost like this card slot here. Look, CPU, memory, and everything. And then the expansion board is actually the rest of it. The riserless side where you put all your GPUs, versus over here it's riserless, and underneath the power supply you can see you have your CPU and everything. So in our X12, this is my largest rig. I thought it'd be fun. I have 12 of these. So in the X12, we're gonna do all 3070s. So these are the Galax 3070s, my favorite 3070. These things are awesome. I think it's because of the fact of the quality. They're really meant for mining, and they have a really hard exoskeleton to them. It's not like a cheap, it doesn't feel cheap at all. We have our white, that's like the Vision Gigabyte, and then 4 more gigabytes. P&Y, that's the XLR8, and then an ASUS over there. Now, X12 here, give you guys a little more insight, has your bigger, these are 140 millimeter fans on the front. A little different than some of the other ones are 120. And then on here, take a look. I mean, there's a reason that the Octo Miners are definitely more expensive. I mean, the quality is significantly better, but you know, you have multiple, what is it, 3? 3 of the power supplies there that are hot swappable. You then have this power distribution board with all of your 6 pins connected to it. You have your fan controller built in with it. Now they go ahead and do their motherboard underneath here, very similar. And then off of that motherboard, it has 2 GPU slots, and then the remainder of the 10, it's an expansion board, are right through there. So it's going to be cool to have an X12 12 3070s. I think that'll look really, really good. All right, so jumping over here, we have another Octo miner, X8, and these are the 3060s, TIs. So we have one here, 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬 3060 for the Win 3. Look at the size. These are so big. This ROG Strix here, 2 8-pins. So much bigger of a card. It's crazy. We have 2 of those. We have the Aorus and then another gigabyte here. Now my goal is, if I can find them for a decent price, is I'm going to need 3 more. So I'm going to try to get the 3060 Ti for the Win 3s. There's something to be said for having the 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬s for sure. But that's going to be in our X8 here. Finally, now we're going to do a little switcheroo here. Excuse me. So these are our 580s. I decided to keep these. This one here, one of my favorite ones here, this blue one, harder to come by. Finally got my hands on it during this current bear market for significantly cheaper. I just always wanted one of those. Anyways, in this case here, huge shout out to GPUrisers.com. I went ahead and picked up an R8. We're going to do that in a future build here. And we're actually going to take what's in here. So we purchased from Hawk Crypto Mining was the 6700 XTs, and they're actually in this server case still. I'm going to be doing a video coming up here, so that's why it's not unboxed. You'll see it here soon. And these are XFX 6700 XTs, 8 of them in a Polo Miner case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the build, pull the 6700 XTs out of here, put them into this R8. That's going to be coming up here in the next few days, guys. The 580s are going to go into this Polo Miner case. And I thought, man, 6700 XTs, we got to give them a good home. So definitely in that R8. Now I'm keeping the 580s for a little bit of nostalgia, as well as the fact that I still want to have some GPUs that really connect with you guys, the audience. And these 580s, I know those 580s are still in the top GPUs on HiveOS right now. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Keep a little, more relative to you and my audience. So that's all of these GPUs here. And we're going to be mining Dynex on, I think we're doing Dynex on all of these, except for I think the 6600 XTs. We get that filled out. We're going to do a Core AI rig on that. But other than that, yeah, Dynex, 10 gigabyte Dynex on these 6600s. For my son, I might do the NiceHash OS with profit switching, because he's honestly only interested in Bitcoin, but he also isn't as familiar with, a lot of the other stuff. 3060s, Dynex for sure. Then our 3070s, Dynex now, and then 3060 Ti's, Dynex, and 580s probably Dynex. Now that might change as we see proof of useful work coming out here from Flux December 15th. If you guys missed my live stream, you will be able to use even these to go ahead and mine with Flux proof of useful work. It's just that you won't most likely be given a lot of the AI rendering or any AI items with X1 slots. That's most likely going to be reserved for like the X16s and stuff like that. So what else have we got going on? Well, let's take a walk, shall we? So what are we selling? Well, we're selling these guys. These are going to be on my Discord in the next few days. If you guys are interested, leave a link down below. We're going to do the GPUs first. We might do some of these gold shells second. But let's go ahead and run through them real quick. So we have a Gigabyte 1060, 6 gig. It's got some age to her. We have an MSI 580, 8 gigabyte. Power Color 580, 8 gigabyte. This is a 570. Check it out, guys. Sapphire Nitro 570 has the dual BIOS on it. There's actually a dual BIOS right here. And the heat pipes are right here. It's a 6-pin and an 8-pin. Jumping over, we have, who's got one of these? A Fat Boy. This is the XFX Fat Boy. It's a little bit thicker than your traditional 580. Has more bigger heat pipes on the side. has an 8-pin and a 6-pin. It's an 8 GB, very similar to a 580. We have the Sapphire Pulse 5700 XT. We're going to be selling that as well. Jumping over here, we have a 1070 Ti, 8 GB. An 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬, I imagine this will go quick, 1070 Ti as well. This is a For the Win 2. We have 3 of the Gigabyte 1070 Ti's, and here's one. Now, number 2 and 3, a little bit different. The shroud is a little bit loose, so I actually ended up putting like a little zip tie through this one and also over on this one. Doesn't interfere with the fan, but I don't like the shrouds being so loose. I'm always afraid like something's going to come off, so put a zip tie on those to be safe. Over here, what do we have here? Ooh, we'll go to that one last. We have a 2060 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬. This is, yep, 𝐓𝐫𝐲𝐬. Here we are doing a Founders Edition. This thing is in immaculate condition, so heavy. Founders Edition RTX 2060. And finally, this Gigabyte is a little bit different. You don't see these as often. This is a Gigabyte RTX 2060 Super. Just so much better than the 2060s, especially on Flux. So I'll have these on my Discord. There is a hobbyist miner yard sale channel. Go over, join the Discord, and I'll be posting these in the next few days. Other than that, what else do I have going on? So in my desktop editing rig, gaming rig, we have an RTX 2080, and if you see in there, it's actually a Super. So we're going to be pulling that out and selling that as well. That'll be on the Discord. And we're going to be putting this guy in there. This is a PNY 3070, and it actually has a 12-pin. So here is a cable that I got off of Amazon a while ago because it didn't come with it originally. Got it used locally. We're finally going to upgrade that. That card's been in there for years. We're finally going to upgrade that. It runs great. I really don't need more, but I thought it'd be, if I'm going to be selling some GPUs, it'd be a good time to part ways with that. Guys, I remember when I bought this, it was like $800. Crazy. So we're going to be putting a 3070 in there. And then this one back here, this is the 6500 XT. It's a 4 GB one. Came out a little while back, actually. I'm going to be doing a gaming rig build with my son, and I'm going to be putting that in there for him. Perfect. He plays Roblox, Minecraft. I thought this would be a perfect GPU for that. And it's got one HDMI and one DisplayPort, which should be awesome. All right, guys. So what I've decided to do is actually take a day off work coming up. If you guys weren't familiar, this is not my day-to-day job. This is really my side hustle, my second job. Anyways, I'm going to be taking a day off from my career, from my day-to-day job, and we're going to be doing a full day of GPU mining rig builds. I got boatloads of these builds coming up. We're going to do a video for every single build in order to kind of keep that GPU content coming over the next few weeks, because I honestly want to get all of these back up in my shed and mining. There is like so much lost opportunity right now. So anyways, guys, that's my plan. Love to hear from you guys in chat if you saw something or heard something that was, maybe you should consider this over this, or if you had questions or comments, concerns. Don't post in the comments like I want to buy that or I want to buy that, because honestly I'm not really gonna deal with you over YouTube comments. If you're interested, visit the Discord and keep an eye on the hobbyist yard sale channel, and I'll post all those GPUs for sale right there. Take crypto pretty much is what we'll do, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. If you guys want to be notified when I drop those GPU mining rig builds, go ahead and click that bell, and I'll see you guys next time.